The Lincoln Memorial was built to honor the man who is said to have saved the Union and who laid the groundwork for what the country would eventually become. Architect Henry Bacon designed the memorial primarily using Greek influence for the structure, from the general overall styling to the use of marble throughout. This approach was done as an additional way to honor President Lincoln, as Henry Bacon believed that using the style of the civilization that was known to have brought the world democracy would be fitting to Lincoln's achievements as being a champion of the people. While Lincoln's achievements did not completely solve every issue for the country, he managed to show what it meant to fight and sacrifice for what was right. This embodied what the true American spirit is about. Since its construction having finalized in 1922, the Lincoln Memorial has served as a symbol of equality and the fight to make the world a better place. Here we can see a picture of the Lincoln Memorial under construction right around 1920 to 1922. And on the right hand side we can see a picture of the Lincoln Memorial being completed. The memorial has been seen in pivotal moments in history, as seen with the Civil Rights Movement that used the Lincoln Memorial as a gathering place, most notably having been the place where Martin Luther King Jr. gave his famous "I Have a Dream" speech. People today still come from all over the world to see the memorial as it continues to stand as a reminder of the American spirit. We do have a picture here of Martin Luther King Jr. giving his iconic "I Have a Dream" speech, as well as a picture of Martin Luther King with the statue of Abraham Lincoln here as well. As we look throughout the memorial, one of the most prominent features of the memorial is the statue of Abraham Lincoln. The statue sits in the center of the front of the memorial, and it truly encapsulates the grandness of President Lincoln. The statue, which is made from marble sourced from Georgia, sits at a whopping 19 feet tall and 19 feet wide. The sculptor, Daniel Chester French, used 28 individual pieces of marble and integrated them together to create a seamless look. Details throughout the sculpture were carefully thought out, from the position of his hands, with one being closed and one being open, to the bundle of rods below them. Each detail is intended to symbolize important ideals or attributes of President Lincoln. For example, going back to his hands, with one being opened, that is said to have actually shown his compassion, and the other one being closed is said to show his strength. Similarly, the bundle of rods below them show the strength that unity brings, such as the strength between a bundle of rods compared to that of a singular rod, which would not be as strong. The statue is meant to be a lasting portrayal of President Lincoln, highlighting the importance to the central ideas that make the United States what it is today. Prominently displayed throughout the Lincoln Memorial are a total of 36 Doric columns that were used to symbolize the 36 states that were in the Union at the time of Lincoln's presidency. Each column is modeled after the Doric style used in ancient Greece for the Parthenon in Athens. They maintained the traditional color and overall appeal, as Henry Bacon made it an emphasis to try and resemble the Parthenon as much as possible. The columns are a distinct feature of the monument that is a direct visual representation of what makes up the Union, as each state is symbolized throughout the columns as being a key piece to holding up the memorial, as also seen with the Union. A fun fact about the columns is that they actually do slightly lean inwards to give the memorial a more symmetrical look compared to what it would look like if they were actually sitting straight. An additional feature that they have above the columns is actually an inscription with the states and the year that they joined the Union, shown in Roman numerals here. Arguably one of the most impactful areas of the Lincoln Memorial lies in the South Chamber, where an inscription of the Gettysburg Address is located. The speech was given by President Lincoln in November of 1863 and can be seen as powerful now as it was then. The words etched into the marble for eternity are significant because it acknowledges the pain and sacrifice that was experienced by many of the people fighting for equality, and serves as a reminder of what the nation had to go through to have the freedoms it currently has. When considering the Greek influence on the memorial, it makes sense as to why inscriptions were included directly into the structure, because similar inscriptions were found in various sites throughout ancient Greece that pertain to their specific ideals and beliefs. Similarly, found in the north chamber of the memorial is another inscription, this one being the second inaugural address made by President Lincoln as he was advocating for unity among the states right before the end of the Civil War. President Lincoln goes on to call for a peaceful reintegration of individuals between both the north and south sides so that the nation could continue growing together. This area of the memorial is important because it is a reminder of what is truly valued by President Lincoln as he made it a priority to continue pushing for the country to work together. Lincoln understood that it was not possible for the nation to prosper if it remained divided and knew that forgiveness and unity would be the only way forward. Again, these words are forever inscribed into the memorial, making it that much more lasting for future generations to see. If we look directly above each of the inscriptions, the Gettysburg Address inscription and the second inaugural address inscription, we can actually see a set of paintings corresponding to each one. These paintings are additional symbolic portrayals of the principles and ideas that President Lincoln dedicated his life to. If we take a look above the Gettysburg Address inscription, we can see the painting that I've included here at the top that shows the angel of truth freeing slaves from bondage with additional representations of justice on the left-hand side, and on the right-hand side we can see representations of faith, hope, and charity. If we take a look at the painting I've included here below, this would be the painting that you would see above the second inaugural address inscription. Here we can see that the painting shows the angel of truth unifying two sides, representing the north and the south. On the left-hand side of the painting is a representation of fraternity, and on the right-hand side is a representation of charity. These pieces of artworks are similar to what can be found in ancient Greece, as artists also made paintings showing mythological stories and their beliefs. The paintings found in the Lincoln Memorial, while not directly associated with religious ideal functions, they still act in the same manner by being a testament to values to our civilization. When considering the Lincoln Memorial through a humanist perspective, a humanist would see the Lincoln Memorial as a major symbol of the development and progress of the civilization in the United States. The humanists would try to analyze how the memorial was able to reinforce the idea of democracy and rights. They would also look at the text in the inscriptions and analyze how it was interpreted by the people to influence their way of thinking. If we were looking at the Lincoln Memorial through an artist's perspective, an artist would look at the monument and analyze the symbolism used throughout, from the proportion of Lincoln's statue to the deliberate positioning of his hands. They would also look into the material that was used and the style that was imitated, as it would allow them to learn more about what the architects and the builders were trying to convey. In other words, they would look at the deeper meaning of the monument and try to see where the influence came from to understand it just a bit more.